You have entered as an attendee in listen-only mode.
Hello, how are you? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello. So are you there, all of you? Hello? Is there anyone? Let me know if we can start, okay? Okay, hello to all of you. So, welcome to this session. Now we are on Friday, so we are finishing the week. Okay, so yesterday we talked about the we talked too much about how to use a Dynaform, what is a Dynaform, and the web controls that we use in a Dynaform. So now we are going to talk a little more about how to use Dynaforms. So I'm going to move here, and I'm going to move to the Dynaforms, and I'm going to explain the rest of the web controls that we use in Dynaforms. So let's explain it about this. Well, first of all, we discussed about some Dynaforms that we use here, but let's see if I want to check different a different way of using Dynaforms. A checkbox is another web control that we can use, and for a checkbox, we need to create. Excuse me, I'm going to again put this checkbox. I'm going to create a Boolean value. Okay, so I can say that this is a Boolean value. Checkboxes just have two values, true or false, and it is a Boolean value. So you have here true or false. So if I turn this, it is going to be true. If I leave it in blank, it is going to be false. So it's a Boolean value with this, no, true and false. The check group requires a different variable. So in this case, it will require an array, and I can define here the options for this. It can be a different label. For instance, I can say this as fragile, uh, strong, weak. Okay, so I can apply for this, and I'm going to say a check group is like many options that can be turned on or turned off. So we use that fragile, strong, weak. That depends on the set of values that we want to set in this variable. So both are have the same behavior, that you turn on and turn off something. A checkbox is going to use a Boolean value. A check group is going to use an array. And in an array, you are going to have the values here. Okay? Other web controls that we can use can be suggest. And in suggest, we can include a set of values. For instance, I can say names of countries like Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, Burma, for instance. So by applying this name, I'm going to see that this is going to follow a type of a string, and this is very interesting. We are going to look at how it works. So I'm going to save it, and you're going to see how suggest works. It is going to autocomplete the options that I have chosen. For instance, if I write blue, it is going to indicate me that the option is blue. So it's an auto-completion option. Beyond that, we have other web controls like hidden. And hidden is a very interesting way of using the diagram. Let's look at this. I'm going to move to another process, and you're going to see how it works. You go here to hidden in, for instance, I'm going to check in supply registry. Okay. Here I have a Dynaform, and it has a hidden label. Okay, and this variable is known. This variable can be associated to a trigger. I know this is a little more complex, but hidden variables are very, very important if you want to display a text using JavaScript, or if you want to use, for instance, for a trigger. Okay, we use for those reasons. This is hidden. Okay, then the next one is going to be, well, title and subtitle. We have found that is the same, so there is no problem. Label, we discussed it. It is this one, and here is link. The ID is here, the name is here, the label is here. Okay, but the link web control is used to enter a link in a Dynaform. Okay, so we can include the name, the ID, the label, and here I'm going to include the link where I want to have a reference to a website. Then you have image, and in image you can put here the source. This is going to be a source, and with the source you're going to be able to display a text. For instance, if I'm going to copy the image address here and paste it here, you're going to see that this image is going to be displayed. Moment. I'm going to take it from another source, okay? Okay, so now I'm going to display it. Okay, but images work in this way. So I'm going to make it rounded, and we use in that sense.
Em ơi, đóng bét chưa?
So
Đóng xong chưa? Đóng xong bét chưa?
we
Sắp
need
muộn
to
á.
enter a
3 giờ mà
source
nó bị nhiều quá đâu gì
image,
cả. Hay sao?
and depending on the source, you're going to be able to
Ổn vãi chứ.
use a logo
Yeah.
or something. But
Này,
let's
chứ
see
chả hiểu
something.
vì sao
I'm
mình
going to
mà
use a
nó
little
nhiều thì
image,
như nào
okay?
nhỉ?
For
Bây
this
giờ
example.
Ô, dã man. Rồi, thank you nhá.
Okay, now I'm going to use it here, image. So now you can see. That depends on the source that you are going to use, the link that you use for this purpose. Okay, so in this case, it's not a very strict logo, so because it doesn't have security and everything, so that's why I can display this image here. But apart from that, we have other web controls. File is for, well, first of all, it uses a variable type use file, and in this variable type I'm going to call it file, okay? And in this I'm going to include input document, okay? Then I'm going to use another web control called file upload, and file upload uses a multiple file type of variable, and here in multiple file here I can associate with a input document. So it means that if I attach files in this Dynaform, it is going to be shown in the input document if this input document follows the this Dynaform. Okay. Then you have submit and button. So in submit you're going to find this. No? Then you're going to find button, and here what is the difference? The submit button is going to store your data, and you're going to submit it for the next screen. Okay, the button, it doesn't have a functionality if you don't use it with a purpose of a JavaScript code. Okay, what I think here is that you're going to use this button, okay, with the purpose of using it associated with JavaScript. For instance, if we need to hide some fields, you can use a button, and developers are going to know that by using the ID of this web control, it is possible to hide the rest of the fields. Grid, we have seen grid, and finally subform. A subform is a form that I am going to enter inside another form. I'm going to use this example here. I have a subform, and I can choose this other dynaform to be inserted here and operate on this dynaform differently. Okay, so we can enter another dynaform there, and in panel is going to be, I'm going to show you a video about panels, and you're going to be very happy with these panels. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to show you a video about panels. This you can see on the video library, and you're going to ask me questions if needed. I will explain you all the steps that you need to. But in panels, we enter a different content. We need to enter here some code, HTML code, but we need to associate with JavaScript. Why? Because with panels, we can enter graphics, we can enter videos, and so on. So let's see the video about panels. So let's watch it, okay? Look at the use of where the designer in this video puts the HTML code and the external libraries. Look at that. It's putting the external libraries there that will require. So it's, the designer is marking where to put everything. And then JavaScript code. So we have both. And there I'm using an HTML code, as you can see, with all the parameters, with all the attributes. I save it, and then I'm going to save everything. And let's see the preview. Okay, so this is everything that you can see. So have you noticed the idea that it uses for using this? This is a Google map. Again, it's going to include a panel there. And in the panel, then let's wait for the inclusion of the panel. It's going to click there, and then it's going to edit and include that, the content and everything. So I'm going to check it. Okay. I have a question. Just a moment. Yeah. Ken, yeah, it's using the yeah, you're including just the external libraries. Just that the URL of the external libraries to make it work. Okay. So you can see that it's a content, it's a iframe. Going to save and then display the map of Google Maps. Then another panel, and this is going to be for a video. So again, I enter an iframe tag, and in this iframe tag, I'm going to show a video. Okay, so pay attention to that. I save it. Okay, so it's a video. It's an iframe, and then you have a video there. So you can use ProcessMaker as a movie maker, a movie player, excuse me. Then I'm going to create a variable, then I'm going to include the JavaScript code, some external libraries, and then I'm going to make a dynamic data picker. This example, you can find it also in the wiki page that we use to consult our inquiries, our questions, and you're going to find the same examples with the codes and everything. But I prefer to show you in a video and not to make it very static in a wiki page. So it would be nice for you to look at this. And do you see that the hidden variable is there, but it's not going to be displayed. It is just for programming purposes that we use the hidden variable. I invite you to look at the wiki. The external libraries, some code there, save it, some HTML code, division tag, we save it, and then we make the preview. Okay, so that's the part of using this. Okay, so we have completed now all the parts about Dynaforms, and now we can go to our university here, and we are going to complete the next lab. Next lab is going to be Dynaforms here. For this lab, you have 15 minutes. We need to complete this lab of Dynaforms. So, do we agree with that? It's just 15 minutes for this lab. Okay? We need to complete this laboratory, then we move on to the next part of this multi-language support. But I need you to complete this lab. Okay, so confirm me, and then we start with the doing this lab. Okay? Can we start it? Okay, so see you in 15 minutes, and then we answer the quiz. Both things. This, the Dynaforms lab, and then the quiz. Both things have to be done. Okay? Any question, you can make it on the chat. Okay? Sí, bueno, pues, ya los dos, por ejemplo. Ya dije que yo, no lo puedo mirar en la calle, es crecido, no sé, no necesito buscar un texto de hora, no es así, es todo el día. Y solo una vez en el texto, en el estado, por ejemplo, dos semanas de venir, un horario de venir. Es verdad. Pero ¿cómo se encuentra? Mira, es el mismo tiempo que yo, por ejemplo, cuando tomaba desde por ejemplo, siempre trabajar en un horario de noche en una tarde, ¿no? Sería 11 de la noche, y creo que a veces está en mi casa, ¿no? Es una distancia horaria. En la mañana es posible. Se habla de muy mucho tráfico, que pasa, y pasa, no es increíble, no es fácil. No estamos bien, porque tiene la vida, claro, sí, sí, pero también yo trabajaba en o a mí yo me gusta mejor que la vida, o sea, sí cosas que te carguen, yo que porque hay una cosa, me gusta, me voy a 30, 40, me agrada, es bien feo eso, y me parece bien desubicado. O sea, está bien que te atrases, pero no te atrases tus 30, 40 minutos. Desesperado, Hello? Hi. Okay. So we are going to check the quiz. Let's move on to the quiz, and I'm going to check with you. So this is the quiz. I'm going to make the review, and it says, it is advisable to periodically save your Dynaform while designing it. True. A Dynaform cannot have more than 2 related translation false. But this is false. I haven't checked with you, but it's false. Question 3 says, match the web controls with the correct icons. This is image. This is grid. This is subtitle. This is link. And this is datetime. Dynaforms can include more than one language file. True. What is the maximum number of columns a Dynaform row can be divided into? 12. It's possible to define the language in which a Dynaform will be rendered. True. It's not possible to assign variables to the following web controls: subtitle and title. Is it possible to rearrange the fields that comprise a Dynaform? Yes, but dragging and dropping into the desired position. So let's check. I finish that attempt, then I submit all, then I submit all, and finish. So everything is okay. I'm going to show you. Excuse me, I have answered I froze the screen, but then you can see all these questions here. Okay, so all of them are answered. So it's highly recommendable to test also the questions if it matches with the reality. So in this case, I have answered all the questions. I didn't know that the screen was frozen, but you can see here the correct answers. Okay, these are the correct answers. Okay, so by doing this, I'm going to move to the next topic that I want to show you. It's about how to use a very interesting thing that we call the name of this, it is the, what we can say, it's the multi-language support. Okay, so it's a feature that we have in ProcessMaker, so I'm going to use that feature today to show you what happens. Okay, so yeah, we are going to check the part of language. Yes, Kian, what is your question? Well, how to change the font in ProcessMaker? You have CSS styles, okay? Maybe you can use, you can modify the CSS styles. I would like to for that because the styles, the font in ProcessMakers are defined by default, okay? So they are defined by default. But if you look here, I'm going deeper, okay, to a very technical part here. You're going to find the collection of CSS classes. So we have to go to OPT here. And well, I'm going to check if it's one of the, well, in this part, you're going to find the, I don't have exactly where is the path for the CSS files, but by going to one of the CSS files, you're going to be able to modify that, okay? So it's like, check that and try to modify. But by default, ProcessMaker has its own style. Okay, you are meaning, okay, the current font is not good for Vietnamese. I'm going to check something with you, okay? And you're going to tell me. I know that you have very stresses in Vietnamese. Okay, so you have many. You are meaning not the font. You're meaning that it's possible to have a Vietnamese in a dynamo, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to show you that. At least it's a Latin script, so there is not going to be a problem with that. But let's check that. Okay. Okay, I have here my Dynaform, and I'm going to talk now about language. Okay. And let's see the case of using some different stresses and marks in the language. Okay. Well, the closer example that I can give you, it can be from a Portuguese script. Okay. font style. Okay, just a moment. So you mean when you mean about font, you mean about using for Arial, using that. Am I right? Okay, okay. By the CSS style. Okay. Okay. I'm going to find out. It's one of the questions I have done. But in ProcessMaker we have our font styles very well defined. But let's see if we have another options. Okay. Okay. I'm going to move here to the part of T ProcessMaker, and then I'm going to move to Gulliver. Here it's a party. Okay. TC PDF, and there is a part here called fonts. Okay. So you're going to have here some fonts that we use. Okay, so here you have the available fonts here. Okay, and well, there is a way in which we can do that. I can ask this. Okay, I can ask about this question, and then I'm going to give you an answer. But what I know is that the fonts are here in this directory. Okay, maybe you can use a skin for this purpose. Okay, but here you have the fonts. I'm going to answer you, Ken, this question, okay? About how to change the fonts and everything. I'm going to give you the answer back. So maybe if I remember, we can do something very interesting here. Is to okay. So I will answer you this question, okay, for a different font. Okay, but here you can find the fonts that we use in ProcessMaker. So I'm going to continue, and then to answer the rest of the to continue with the program. Okay. Okay. So okay, I'm going to give you the answer by email. Okay. Right now, I know that you can use those fonts, but specifically for Vietnamese, I'm going to check the case. Okay. I'm going to check the case for that. Okay,
Sao rồi?
so I'm going to give you the answer back. Well,
Biết là chưa được
let's
rồi
move
nhưng mà
on.
thấy nó thế nào?
How to change
Chạy
the
lâu rồi.
language? Check here.
Vẫn thế à?
I'm going to
Làm thế nào?
go to the part of
Làm
languages,
nào rồi?
and here I'm going to click, and the file is going to be exported. I'm going to show this file,
Tóm
and
lại
this
kệ mày,
file
phải làm nào làm, bây giờ hệ
is
thống
going to
treo
be
thì phải khởi
opened
động lại
with
cho chủ
an
được.
editor. In this case,
Sai
I'm
sót
going
gì
to use
phải hỗ
brackets.
trợ từ xa
That's
được.
my editor,
Chứ không là lại
and
oang
I'm
oang
going
lên.
to change
Cầm chết.
things here. Say this is going to
Nhá.
be Spanish, for instance. So I'm going to use the Spanish,
Mọi
and
người
the
cũng còn
country is
đang còn
going
việc
to
làm
be a
việc khác
Spain,
nhưng mà hỏi chị biết trước tình hình thôi nhá.
and here I'm going to call this S. These lines that I'm modifying is for recognizing, it's to make a difference with the files. It's the lines to identify something, okay? Then I'm going to check here, like formulario de envío, then en detalles del remitente, What I do here is that I have my message ID. I don't have to make any change here. You don't need to change the message ID. You need to change the message string, okay? Then here it says, please enter, por favor, ingrese el nombre del remitente. For this Dynaform, I am translating a version in Spanish, okay? So I'm going to enter this too also. To say, por favor, ingrese el nombre del remitente. ID del remitente. I'm not going to translate everything, but just a part of that. So I'm going to click here and then save this file. And then I'm going to save as ProcessMaker S. And I'm going to save it on my desktop. So I'm going to save it. Maybe I have okay, here. And let's see if I'm going to move here, choose the file, and I'm going to obtain from my desktop. So I open it. And I'm going to open this file to make the translation. So to choose the file. And open it. Excuse me, is the extension. I haven't thought about that. You have this file, okay? It's this one, okay? So I forgot something, okay? I am going to open again the file that I used here. So I'm going to move here to brackets. It wasn't answering because there is a missing part in the file. And now I'm going to retranslate everything, okay? So I'm going to say that this is going to be Spanish, Spain. This is going to be S, detalles del remitente. Here is remitente. Por favor, Ingrese el nombre del remitente. Okay, why I am doing this? For one reason. I'm going to save as I'm going to save this as a PO file. Yeah, as this way. I'm going to save as a PO file. I'm going to save it. Yeah, I should save as this extension. Dot S, this part that you see here is the ISO code of the language. So I'm using Spanish in this case, and dot is going to be the PO file. This is the extension. So I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to enter here. And I'm going to save this in another part. .po, my extension, and I'm going to save it here. Now I'm going to move on here and make the uploading of these files. I'm going to take the file and upload this. So when it's a PO file, if you see here, I had this file and it didn't have an extension. But with this PO file, it means that it's going to be recognized. So I upload it and automatically it's going to be uploaded here to Spanish. So I close it, I save it, and now I can change this into Spanish. I can save it, then click on preview. Excuse me, I'm going to re-enter again, re-login. And you can see now the translations for this file. Sí, claro, sí, sé español. Sí. Do you speak another language apart from English and Vietnamese? Yeah, I know. Yeah, but it's an example. I'm using Spanish. I can use Italian or either French. So, no, I'm not to Spain. I'm a Spanish speaker. So yeah, I know both English, Spanish, French, and Italian also, and Portuguese. So I know. Yeah, actually, it's a language. In ProcessMaker, we have many customers that speak Spanish. That's why we use that, and also we have customers that speak in French. So these are the most common languages in ProcessMaker. Okay, but does this answer to you this part that I have done? This change of using the PO file. We have modified the file here. I'm going to repeat again. We downloaded the file, we modify the file, and we call it as this way, ProcessMaker dot, and this is going to be S because of the Spanish, and it's the ISO code for the language Spanish, dot PO here, okay? And apart from that, by using this file, you are going to, when uploading, you need to recognize that when uploading the file, you should upload a PO file extension, this type of file. Okay, if I modify this as a PO file, for instance, this file can be uploaded because the type is PO file. When the type is PO file, is when you apply this extension, it is possible to upload the file. Okay, By switching the language, by selecting the language here and making the preview, you are going to see your language here. Okay. So well, maybe you don't talk about using a font. Ken, you don't talk using a font. You're worried about the characters that you use in Vietnamese, isn't it? Is that your real concern? The characters that you use in Vietnamese? Because we work with okay, so I'm going to find the part of fonts. Okay, so I know that this can be done using skin. This is one of the options. Okay, but in reality there is the way that you can use also the part of this, no, of changing the language and everything. Try to apply that to Vietnamese. In this case we are going to have a lab and we are going to see if that works. If you can send me the PO file in Vietnamese, I'm going to see if it works. Okay, I know that you have many characters in Vietnamese, so I want to check that. Okay, so this is the part of the language. We enter the part of the language, and well, this is the way in which I can modify a file and obtain a result. So now when you talk about when we talk about language, we are just using we are modifying just the language. Okay, now the font, yes, I'm going to check a new font for you. Okay, that's the point. So now our next lab is going to be this one. I want you to move, and please, the file that you have translated, send me the file through email. I'm going to receive, and I want to try the file for Vietnamese. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next lab. Is going to be multi-language support. We are going to have 10 minutes for this lab. Multi-language support is the next lab. 10 minutes for this lab. Okay, do we agree? 10 minutes for this lab. Okay, so we are going to have 10 minutes. Okay, so we do this laboratory multi-language support. Okay, 10 minutes for this lab, and then we move on to the next topic that is about, it's a very different topic. Okay, any question that you have about Dynaforms, tell me, because this is a very specific part. It's a very special part. Okay, and one thing, you do this lab, confirm me about that. We're doing the lab. And then I need you also, if you can give me the font that you're using right now for Vietnamese, and I'm going to provide you another font. Okay, I will give you the answer. So let's do the lab. Okay, let's do this lab, multi-language support. 10 minutes for this. Confirm me if you are doing. So 10 minutes for the lab. Okay.